Okay, first, let's know the difference between phrase and clause. We can say a phrase is a group of words that does not contain a subject and a verb. And a clause is a group of words containing a subject and a verb. So here we can say the point of difference between phrase and clause is found in the appearance of subject and a verb. In a phrase, we will not find a subject and a verb, okay? But in a clause, here we will find what? A subject and a verb. So clause containing a subject and a verb, but phrase is not contain a subject and a verb. We have some type of we have some different types of clause. An independent clause or main clause. This is another name for the independent clause. And we can define it as what? As a complete sentence. We can say an independent clause or main clause is a complete sentence. It contains the main subject and verb of a sentence. So an independent clause or main clause is a complete sentence. It contains the main subject and verb of a sentence. Here we have two examples for independent clauses. The first one is Ali lives in Tokyo. Ali lives in Tokyo. As a sentence, it starts in capital letter and ends in what? Full stop or period. Okay, so it is a sentence. So Ali lives in Tokyo. It's a complete idea. Okay, and here we call it as what? Independent clause. We call it as independent clause or main clause. So independent clause or main clause means the same. Another example is where does Ali live? Where does Ali live? And here we have some question, as you see, okay? Start in capital letter and ends in what? End it in what? In a question mark. And it's also independent clause. So we have two sentences or two clauses, okay, that represent the main one, okay, or even the main clause or even dependent clause. So we said that the independent clause include group of words that containing a subject and a verb. So what is the subject here? In the first one, Ali is a subject and lives is the verb. Okay, in the second sentence, okay, second sentence which form in as an interrogative sentence, here we have where does Ali live? Ali is the subject and does and live is what? Okay, or what are the forms, okay, that used together to make the verb? We have the helping verb or the auxiliary verb and the main verb of the sentence. So here we have two independent clauses, or even we can say two main clauses. We said that the main clause or the independent clause is a complete sentence and it has what? Subject and a verb. A dependent clause, this is another type of what? Of the clause. We said that we have two types of clauses. We have independent and now here we have dependent. We have main clause and we have subordinate clause. So dependent clause or even subordinate clause is not complete sentence, but the independent clause or the main clause is complete sentence, okay? So here we can say dependent clause or subordinate clause is not a complete sentence. So let's see how it's not complete. When you say where Ali lives, where Ali lives, okay, as information, maybe you got some idea or some information, but is it grammatically correct or not? Okay, You think of a form where it's not capital letter. The first word here is not capitalized, and we have no what, full stop or point at the end of the sentence, or even question mark at the end of what, of this form. So it is not complete sentence. Okay, we call such type of form as what? As dependent clause. Dependent clause, and also we call it as subordinate clause. So dependent clause means subordinate clause. Okay, they mean the same. Okay, both of them. Okay, yeah, are not complete sentences. But in case we found them complete, that means they are independent or even main. Okay, we use independent or main, okay, for such type of structure, which is complete sentence. We need some other example. Okay, no more examples, but we will find more about the point. Okay. Here we think of the form, okay, that include a complete sentence. When you say, I know where Ali lives, I know where Ali lives. So here we have complete sentence now. I is the first word, and the final part include, yes, what, full stop or period. So here we can say in this example number D, okay, we can say it is a complete sentence with a main subject, which is I. I here is a subject, as you see, okay, and verb, and the verb is what? No, the verb no, okay? And here we can say no followed by what? A dependent clause. After no, I know, you know what? Okay, where Ali lives. So we can say where Ali lives play the role of what? A noun clause. So here we have noun clause, which is where Ali lives. I know where Ali lives. So where Ali lives is a noun clause. Okay. In the previous example, if you remember, or in the previous point, okay, we talk about where Ali lives is incomplete sentence. That means it is subordinate or even, yes, let's say, dependent clause. But when we use it here in this form here, we know why we said that it's incomplete, because there is some mis-idea in the previous form, but now it's complete here when you say, I know where Ali lives. So where Ali lives is a part from some other sentence. And in this way, we can say we have a complete sentence. It starts from I and ends in what? Starts in I and ends in full stop. Okay, so I know where Ali lives, and where Ali lives is the noun clause. A noun clause has the same use or same uses in a sentence as a noun. So here when we say a noun clause, that means it has the same function, the same use of a noun in a sentence. So here we think of the noun clause play the role of the noun, subject, even object, or something like that. It is used as an object or subject, as we said. So here we can say, I know what he said. I know what he said. So what he said is a noun clause. Here you see I used as subject and know as a verb. But where is the object? The object is what? Is what he said. The object is what he said. This is the object. So as you say, I know him. Instead of him, you will use some clause, okay? I know what he said. I know what he said. So he will think of the clause here, or the dependent clause, or the yes, subordinate clause, plays the role of what? Of the noun as what? As object. So here, you know, when we want to make object for some sentence, or we want to make some subject for some sentence, we use what? We use a noun. Now here, what he said is a clause, and it is used as what? As object for this sentence. Another example, what he said is true. What he said is true. Here, is the main verb, okay, and true is a complement because is a linking verb or state verb, sorry. So here we can say what he said is a subject, used as a subject. So here we have a noun clause. What he said is a noun clause, okay, and what he said used as what? As a subject. So what he said is a noun clause that play the role of the noun as what? Subject for the sentence. So what he said, he used as a subject, and in the previous form, okay, or previous example, it is used as what? As object. I know what he said, use what he said as object in sentence number E, but in F, what he said is true. We use what he said as subject here in number F, okay? Now we have some type of comparison, okay? Compare. Who is at the door? Who is at the door? Who is the subject of the question? Yeah, we can say who here used as a subject of the question. Who is at the door? We can say Ahmed is at the door. So we replace Ahmed with who here, with this relative pronoun. Okay, so he would think of who here used as what? As the subject of the question. But when you say who are those men, who are those men, we can say those men is the subject of the question. So be used as what? Plural. Who are? So we can say Ahmed and Umar are those men. Ahmed and Umar. So he would think of are used after them. So he would think of some type of pronoun, okay, that use here, or relative pronoun that use, yes, in this position as what? As the subject. So I'm sorry for that, but he would think of what? Those men as what? Used as the subject. Okay. So who are those men? You can say, those men are my friends. Those men are my friends. So he would think of those, those, those here, or those men used as what? As the subject for the sentence. In the first, who is the subject? When you say who is that, or who is at the door, okay, we think of who as the subject. Who used as the subject. But when you say in the second example, who are those men, we can say those men is the subject. Those men is the subject of the question. So here we use the form as plural. Okay, so are here used for those men, not for who. Are used as a verb for what? For those men, not for who. Okay, but here we use is for who. The verb is used for the subject who. Okay, you got the point? Okay. Now here we have some type of rules, okay, or some type of forms, okay, that connected with noun clause beginning with what? With a question word, okay. The question is, where does she live? Here, you can say, as a noun clause, I don't know where she lives. I don't know where she lives. Okay? In A, where she lives is the object of the verb know. So here when you say where she lives is the object of the verb know. Okay? In a noun clause, the subject precedes the verb. As you see here, the subject precedes the verb. Okay? don't use question word order in a noun clause. Okay, so here we'll say, I don't know where she lives, not I don't know where does she live. Okay, so he would think of the form, I don't know where she lives. So where she lives is the noun clause. Okay, and where does she live is a question. Okay, this is a complete sentence, but here, in case you just use, okay, where she lives, it's incomplete sentence. It's dependent or even subordinate clause, dependent clause or subordinate clause that use as a part of some other sentence. I don't know where she lives. So here, where she lives is the object, okay, of the form. So here we have where she lives is the noun clause that used as the object to the sentence. Okay. There is some type of notice here. Okay. Uh, does, did, and do are used in questions, but not in noun clauses. So it's a very important point, okay, that which is that, yes, does, did, and do are used in questions, but not in noun clause. Here you found them in question, does, did, do. But when you see, yes, make a look at what noun clause, you will notice that there is no do or does or did or no what, no auxiliary or helping verbs in this noun, this what noun clauses. So he would think of where she lives, not where does. What he said, not what did he say. When they arrive, not when do they arrive. You know, here there is a different structure, okay, in noun clauses than the form of what? Of the sentence. So he would change the structure of the noun clause when we build it from what? From question. So in the noun clauses, we should not use what? Auxiliary verbs. We should not use does or did or do. You got the point? Good. Uh, so what about uh, the next one? Okay. Who lives there? Who lives there? Okay. Here, who is a subject and lives is a verb. In case you want to make noun clause, you can say, I don't know who lives there. I don't know who lives there. Okay. So here we can say I is the subject of the main, or even the main subject of the sentence, I, and don't know is the main verb of the sentence. Okay. We have some structure that includes the auxiliary plus the main verb, no. And who is another subject, but it is the subject of the noun clause. It is not the main subject of the sentence. It is the subject of the noun clause. And lives is also a verb of what? The noun clause. Okay. The word order is the same in both. Okay. In the question and in the noun clause. And the noun clause, for some reason, okay, we can say it is, yes, it is the same because what? Who is the subject in both? Okay. Because here we use who as a subject, also who is as a subject in the second, but who in the first is the subject of the sentence, of the question, okay, is the main subject. But here it is what? It is the subject of what? Or who here is used as a subject for what? For the noun clause. Okay. The next example, who are those men? Are is the main verb of the sentence or of the question, and those men is the subject, used as a subject. But when you say, I don't know who those men are, I don't know who those men are, you can say, who is the subject of the noun clause, and those men use are the part of this subject. Who those men are, who those men. And are here is a verb of it. Those men is the subject of the question, as you saw, and here we can say that the reason, yeah, that it's placed in front of the verb be in the noun clause. Okay, here also we have some other form. What did she say? What did she say? It's a question. Okay, here we can say what she said surprised me. This is the subject here. What she said surprised me. Surprise is the main verb of this sentence, and me is the object. Okay, but where is the subject? The subject is what she said. Subject is what she said. Okay, we said that we should not use did or do or does in the noun clause. Okay, so here we said that what she said surprised me. Okay. In H, what she said is the subject of what? Of the sentence, as you see. Okay. Also, there is some type of what? Of noun clause that beginning with what? With whether. With whether. So we think of yes or no question. Will she come? You can say, I don't know whether she will come. Okay. I don't know if she will come. Okay, we think of the form. When a yes or no question is changed to a noun clause, whether or if, one of them, whether or if, okay, is used to introduce the clause. The second example, I wonder, okay, before that, okay, yes or no question, does he need help? Does he need help? This is a form, okay, of the yes or no question. The noun clause, we can say, I wonder whether he needs help. Yeah, we think of the form. I wonder if he needs help. Okay. So here we can say whether is more common than if in formal English. And both whether and if are commonly used in speaking. So this is about the point, okay? The fourth type is question words followed by what? Infinitive. Question words followed by infinitive. I don't know what I should do. I don't know what I should do. You would think of question, okay, when, or question words that we have in English, okay, when, where, how, who, whom, whose, what, which, and whether may be followed by an infinitive. So we can think of the form here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Okay. So he will think of the form. I don't know what I should do. Okay. Here we can say the form, the correct form is what? I don't know what to do. So after what? Okay, we use infinitive form. Palm can't decide whether she should go or stay at home or stay home, sorry. For home, okay, we do not use preposition. Here we can say, Palm can't decide whether to go. Palm can't decide whether to go or to stay home. We think of to here can be used or even can be omitted. Okay. Please tell me please tell me how I can get to the bus station. Please tell me how I can get to the bus station. Here we can say, please tell me how to get the bus station. Please tell me how to get the bus station. The next one, Jim told us where we could find it. Jim told us where we could find it. Here we should think of the form of infinitive, okay, that appear after the WH question or even the form of question. So Jim told us where we could find it. We can say, Jim told us where to find it. Jim told us where to find it. Okay. Some other form, okay, include what? Noun clause or noun clauses begin with what? With that. So here we call it at that clause. That clause. Noun clause of that clause. Okay. Here we call it at that clause, okay? Or noun clause of that. Okay. You will find in this form verb plus that, a verb plus that, okay? I think that Bob will come. I think that Bob will come. We can omit also that. Okay, we can say, I think Bob will come. I think Bob will come. Here, as you see, yes, that Bob will come is a noun clause, okay? And it is used as what? The object of the verb think. So you would think of that Bob will come is the object for think, for the verb think, okay? And the word that is usually omitted in speaking, okay? As in be, I think Bob will come. It is usually included in formal writing, okay? Just in writing, okay, we include that, okay? But in speaking, no. Okay, down here we'll find what, yes, the list or some list for what? For the verbs that commonly followed by that clause. You have some type of verbs, some special verbs that followed with that clause. Okay, we'll find them below. So we can say agree, followed with that, believe, followed with that. So we say agree that, believe that, decide that, discover that, explain that, feel that, find out that, forget that, hear that, hope that, know that, learn that, notice that, promise that, read that, remember that, say that, tell someone that, think that, and understand that. Okay. Now here we have person plus be plus adjective plus that clause. Okay. John is happy that Bob called. Yeah, when we put it between two brackets, that means it can be omitted. Okay, John is happy that Bob called, or even John is happy Bob called. Okay. That clause is commonly followed or follow certain adjectives, such as happy in C. You say that happy that is possible. Okay. When the subject refers to person or persons, see the following what? The following forms. Okay. So I am afraid that. Okay. I am amazed that. I am angry that. I am aware that. Okay. We think of the form here. Okay. Ali, or sorry, we think of all is certain that. Okay. We think of the confident that. Okay. Disappointed that. Glad that. Okay. So we think of them refers to person. Okay. We are happy that, pleased that, proud that, relieved that. John is sorry that, sure that, surprised that, okay, and also is worried that. We have some other structure. It plus be plus adjective plus that clause. It is clear that Anne likes her new job. And that clause commonly follow adjectives in sentences that begin with it plus be, as in D. See the list below. Okay, you think of the form It's amazing that, clear that, good that, important that, it's interesting that, likely that, lucky that, nice that, it's obviously that, possible that, strange that, surprising that, it's true that, and undeniable that, and well-known that, okay, or even we think of well or none, okay, well or none that, and also it's wonderful that. That clause used as subject. Here we can find that clause used here as a subject. That Anne likes her new job is clear. The fact that, this is the subject, the fact that Anne likes her new job is clear. Or you can say, it is a fact that Anne likes her new job. Okay, so we think of the form, okay, or structure as what? As a subject. We think of that clause here used as a subject. It is possible but uncommon for that clauses to be used as a subject of a sentence, as in E. And the word that is not omitted when that clause is used as what? As a subject. More often, that clause in the subject position begins with the fact that, as in F. You want to say the fact that Anne likes her job or her new job. Or is introduced by it is a fact, as in G. As when we said it is a fact that Anne likes her new job. Okay, that's all for our lecture this week. Inshallah, next week we'll continue talking, okay, about clauses. Okay, so see you inshallah next week. Goodbye. You can find some questions, okay, that will help you even. Yes, below this